Three, two, one.
Bop.
Okay, good. Welcome to the first ever episode of Jammed, where four gentlemen come together and talk about whatever. We are your hosts. My name is Derek. We got John. John, say hi.
Hi.
We got Impeccable Michael. Say hi, please.
Hello.
And then we have Alex.
Sup?
Hello?
Sup? Did you not hear that?
No.
Well,
Just say hello. All right. Anyway, that's the amazing Alex right there. And then we're just making a podcast to talk about whatever. So let's just get it started. And for the first episode, I was kind of thinking about letting everybody kind of know about our general thoughts. And since we don't really have a specific structure, which I don't know if we're going to really address in the future, but maybe we'll just keep it like this. I was thinking, with all of the movies and like shows that are kind of gaining notoriety. Notoriety. Yeah. In popular media these days, like with Morbius. I know the brand spanking new Jurassic Park kind of flopped. It kind of got me think. Yeah, it's out. At least in Korea. That's from what I've heard. But let's see. I was kind of thinking, what movie kind of influenced you or stuck with you, like from the very, very early days of your years? Just to give an example, mine would probably be this is a super campy one, but like I kind of have fond memories. It's either Flight of the Navigator or what was that one movie? The one with the robot that goes Danger Will Robinson.
Lost in Space.
Yeah, Lost in Space. I mean, like those movies I kind of remember from the very, very early years where like flying, space travel, that kind of stuff really stuck with me. And it's like for a long time in my childhood, I kind of like really wanted to become an astronaut when I grew up. Like that was my childhood ambition / dream thing. Like obviously it didn't pan out, but
we can still go to space, yo.
Space lawyer. Maybe. Not gonna cut that out. So I don't know. What kind of movies have you guys ever experienced that kind of stuck with you? Maybe we can go in the jammed format. So we'll start off with John.
In terms of early shows, well, movies and shows. So movies was probably My Neighbor Totoro, since that was one of the first VCRs my family owned. And as a kid, we didn't really have TV because, being stereotypical Asian parents, they decided that TV rotted your brain. But they were okay with movies, so I never really understood that as a kid.
Oh God, I remember that whole thing about TV and stuff ruining your mind. Like our parents did that too, but I think Alex and we kind of snuck in as much TV time as possible.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I always went over to my friend's place. But so yeah, I've always had a fond spot for the Miyazaki movies, but there's one random tidbit of info where I distinctly remember a single episode from the old Lois and Lane Superman show, because we had an old VCR. I don't remember how we got it. I don't remember where it came from, but it was an old VCR that literally just had that one episode recorded, and it was because it was the only source of entertainment I had as a kid. I would just watch that on repeat, and it was basically an episode about how what is that? Sorry, not Lois and Lane. Lois and Clark. I don't know if I said that right.
I didn't even catch that.
Wait, isn't that a live action?
Yeah, the old live action with like the very like janky nowadays GFX. But because that one episode was just about how they traveled back in time, Clark's identity as Superman gets revealed. And at the very end, because they return back to time, Lois somehow forgets about it, but she writes herself a note, and it's go like, oh, cliffhanger. And I was just like, as a kid, I was like, what happens next? I'm never gonna find out because I didn't have any more episodes of that show. And back then, you couldn't just go on the internet and look stuff up.
Oh god, that's horrible.
So you're saying you could just go watch it right now?
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to keep my childhood memories just as that one cliffhanger, just perpetually blue balling me for some reason.
I mean, that might be a good thing. You don't know if the next episode is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard, that show's a real popular nostalgia favorite, but that's the only episode I've ever seen of that show.
Was that the one where, like, I think I have a vague idea of the show you're talking about? Where, you know, Superman is in his Clark Kent persona and he has those glasses on. Does he always like run into like the back alley and comes out in like this thin fabric Superman suit?
Yeah, and because they didn't have good green screen tech back then, the flying was just him standing straight up and then just basically being puppeted by someone on a computer.
Oh god.
Wow. This is really old. Wow.
Oh, you're looking it up? Yeah.
This is
1993.
1993. Were you born?
Yeah, I'm a 1992 baby, and then
Oh.
I don't know how we got that VCR. It's the only one I remember.
Yeah, just saying VCR. I haven't heard that in such a long time.
Oh, man. Let's see.
Dude, I'm sure that a lot of people, if they do listen to this, they're gonna be like, "The fuck are these boomers talking about?"
Oh,
I
well,
guarantee
But
that.
we're actually millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm guessing our target demographic actually is about our age. So hopefully people know what VCRs are. I don't even know what it stands for.
video cassette recorder. Hold up.
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
think
about
so.
right, honestly.
Acronym. Come on, Bing, don't you fail me now.
So
Bing is gonna bring you interesting places.
Yeah, video cassette recorder.
Got it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, like old Superman, the only thing that kind of pops up for me is the old Superman comic books where Superman is an absolute douche. Like, he makes jokes about other people's wives. I think there was this one comic where he makes Aquaman and who's Clark Kent's assistant, the little boy, Jimmy?
Smallville.
Sure, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, I guess. He strands them in the desert and makes them race across it for a pitcher of water that he's holding.
Wait, what? Wait, which comic book is this? Superman douche comic.
No, this is not called douche.
You're gonna get a lot of weird info.
yeah.
Yeah, don't look it up.
I'm not
what
getting
you're-
some good results, good sirs.
Yeah, no, but there's like plenty of Superman comics, which he's just an asshole. Hold on, Superman.
Essentially, from what you're describing, it sounds like you're describing Homelander from The Boys.
Kind of.
Damn good show.
Except,
Damn good show.
Not a psychotic murderer on the inside, but more like a schoolyard bully with superpowers.
So toned down asshole.
Yes, here's the one I'm talking about. I'm posting it on Discord.
Wait, quick segue. Has anyone here actually read the Boys comic?
I've
I kind
not.
of gone through YouTube clips of it. I know the ending of the comic, which is kind of interesting.
Oh my god, this is real.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. It's weird.
Superman, stop this crazy test. Let us share that water or we die.
Yeah,
What the shit?
dude.
And
old
it's against
Superman, man.
Aquaman? Dude, that's...
Yeah,
messed up.
Aquaman in the middle of the desert. What can Aquaman do?
Like, I want to know the context.
That's the context.
Like, why is he running this test?
For some stupid contrived reason, I'm pretty sure back then, they just didn't give him any legitimate reason. They just kind of went along with it.
Also, those are human bones behind him, so has he run this test before?
John, you're asking very dangerous questions right now. You don't want Superman to hear you.
Oh my god.
I don't know, John. If you really think about it, this was made a long time ago. Maybe they based it off of like biblical tests. You know, like who had to kill their who was sent to kill their kid? I forgot. Like, oh god, was it Abraham?
What?
Abraham. God.
I know Isaac was the name of the kid. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Abraham had to kill his one kid.
And then got stopped at the last second.
Yeah, so maybe he
he didn't have to kill him. He just had to prove that he would do it.
So maybe
the test of loyalty.
Maybe Superman's God in this comic.
Well, he did have a very godlike thing going on, since he literally can't die.
Yeah.
And what his only weakness is to kryptonite, and I guess in the modern days, magic. But yeah, which is also on a different, further segue, talking about his weaknesses. You guys know that there's more than one type of kryptonite?
Did you know there's pink kryptonite, which turns him gay?
Yeah!
Yo, dude, man.
It's weird. It's weird. There's like all the different colors of kryptonite, and each one does something different to him. It's very strange.
Well, he can die at the very least, considering he did die in one of the most famous comic books.
Yeah, but then he came back to life.
Yeah, like the god he is.
Like the Jesus Christ he is, I guess.
So that's the thing. From what I remember of their lore, and I think I remember hearing this through a talk show, so I could be talking out my ass. Kryptonite didn't exist when he first debuted. It was only introduced later when they realized, hey, we got this super overpowered guy who literally has no weaknesses, no bad guys can stand up to him. We need a way to create drama. Because up to then, he's just literally stomping everything that he met.
But they needed that, though, didn't they? Because he came out during the time, like, Superman was released around the time of World War II. So it, like, rallied the American youth around, like, the American way and stuff like that.
I'm guessing. Or maybe they just... Maybe they were like, that's a good reason, but who created Superman anyway?
Action Comics. Hold up. When did the comic Superman come out? June 1938.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I just looked it up. There are 32 different kryptonites.
Yeah, it's kind of wacky.
Wait. Let me read this one to you. Red kryptonite has unexpected consequences, and what happens varies from exposure to exposure. Turning into a dragon.
That must be the earlier.
And then immediately after that, excessive hair growth.
Well,
So, we can either turn to Smog, Samson, or something else.
Oh my god.
So, it essentially was a D&D campaign.
Dude.
Someone cast True Polymorph.
How about D&D Soups Edition?
There's the thing for that. I forget what it's called, but there is multiple superhero D&D stuff. Or multiple superhero tabletop games.
Interesting. I still want to play, like, Vampire the Masquerade with you guys, but, man, I don't know if I want to be the DM. So that's literally me going, like, I hope someone DMs this in the future. But, yeah.
It's just a lot of work.
It is. Like, I don't know how... I don't know if, Michael, you've DM'd before, but I don't understand how, John, you can run, like, multiple campaigns, come up with storylines, keep everything in line and organized. That's a lot, man.
The man loves it.
I mean, was it Michael is... I keep trying to refer to you as Mr.
Okay. You can say my name.
I stopped myself. See, because here, like, on stream I have to use your last name, and here I can't use your last. Okay, fine.
I mean, you can. People can look it up. They won't find me very easily. They'll find white guys.
But yeah, because Michael's DMing our current campaign, the one that I'm a player in. So yeah, he DMs well. But like, it's a very fine balance of making sure it stays as a recreational thing and doesn't like consume my life.
Yeah. And also, it's a lot of going through content, like reading, and essentially, like, reading is such a big thing. Like, if you don't read at all, then you literally are going to have to make stuff out of thin air. I like read so many light novels. I read just stories. I read and pull my plots from it and my twists and turns, because other people's ideas are amazing ways to channel your own, like, cool, I want to do that type of feeling in any campaign that you want to do.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I thought you said if you don't, you gotta breed a lot, and I was very confused.
Okay, I heard that too.
I did not know that was a prerequisite for DMing.
I mean, there's some people who allow that at the table, not me.
I'm 90% sure there's a not safe for work D&D stream with porn stars.
You know what's awkward from what I can imagine is if all the players are male and then they also have a female character and for some reason they hook up. I've had that happen in one of the campaigns that I was part of, where my character actually fell in love with another dude's character, and then like harping, that was so awkward for me.
I mean,
Yo, go ahead.
It just really depends on if you were okay with that. If you weren't, it's all about consent, to be honest. So.
No, no, everything was consensual. It's just I don't know. I have this thing where I get very shy about intimate stuff, like talking, like role playing, like kisses and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. It's just
I mean that's fair. It's not for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it depends on how far you take it. Is it just like stuff you'd see in like a teenage movie where they hold hands, kiss, stuff like that? Or is it like you're going further into the details, which not many people want to do that?
I would definitely avoid that, mostly because it brings up weird ass shit at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining.
Yeah, but like for the stuff like that, it's just more a matter of like, if you're okay with it, perfect. If you're not and you're just here to smash and kill things, then just let your DM know, because they're the ones in control of that.
They are here to smash.
God damn it.
Oh.
I know Discord can't hear this, but I'm clapping my hands right now.
Yeah.
Well, technically the recording program will pick it up.
Oh, damn.
Clap away. All right.
I mean,
that was an interesting. Huh?
Not gonna lie about it. I mean, isn't all like, if you want to just base D&D campaigns off of like different universes, isn't it just still the same rules, just different abilities?
Or flavor, essentially, is what we call it. It's you would just like reflavor your stuff to fit the world. So like if you most D&D, most people think it's like high fantasy where you're like on the quest to kill the dragon. But if you change it to like a more modern setting, like in New York City or something like that, then you would just change some of the ideas, I guess, of your...
Yeah, like if you didn't want to do any extra work, you could literally just say, hey, crossbows are now guns, swords are now lightsabers, stuff like that.
So don't you have to like kind of mix it up too, though, since I don't know if crossbows are piercing damage. Would that even apply with guns?
Wouldn't you have to like make that, like, that's the DM's job though at that point, right?
Well, so the good thing about D&D is because it's such a like widespread community, people have made a bunch of what we call homebrew stuff, which is basically custom stat blocks, custom items, or like in the case of like stuff like Pokemon, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, they've built entire supplementary systems that you can just incorporate into your current campaign.
Can you pick and choose what you want to incorporate?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like as a DM, it is 1000% up to you to choose what you include.
Interesting.
And essentially, like John was saying about like you could reflavor crossbows into guns. It's just you would have the same stats and stuff of a crossbow, but in game when you're describing it, you're just like pulling out your gun and shooting it. So it's just more so imagination takes a game a long way versus having to make more work for yourself. Like if the DM doesn't want to make more work, you could just be like, hey, that thing looks like this thing. Done.
Got it. And since everything is on a what D4 to D20 kind of system, I'm guessing it's very easy to just switch everything out.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Okay. So that was an awesome talk about Superman and D&D.
Yeah,
Yeah. No. I love
I mean,
it.
to be honest, I personally would make Superman a villain because of just how, like, you're all seeing Superman's corruptness. He withheld water from Aquaman, and then just go from there. Just like, I think that would be just so much fun. Just the idea of running that, and just making it silly for everyone.
Yeah.
There
if you
are
really
a
wanna
couple
make
of stuff that you can base it off of. I mean, I think Injustice is sort of based off of the entirety of Superman going a little haywire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is an awesome and more interesting idea than Superman being a good guy. Mainly because, like, in my opinion, it's all about the struggle for the good guys. Like, I like underdog stories more so than overpowered super good guys who are like, oh, I could just do this in an instant, but I'm going to be preoccupied with drama instead. Like, that's not very interesting for me. Like, for me, it's more about, oh, there's this super powered villain, and we need to go through a whole bunch of trials and tribulations in order to get to a point where we can stand up to this guy. That seems like a better journey for me, at least.
Honestly, though, so here's my issue of many talks about American comic books in the sense of, like, it's not. I don't think a lot of people that, like, criticize or don't, like, they don't have high praise for American comic books. A lot of us aren't really into the lore of the comic books. Like, what I mean by that is, like, yeah, on surface value, Superman is, like, this all-powerful, like, just power fantasy from the very outside look. But I think a lot of the comic book fans and the ones that would actually, that would want to defend American comic books, they read it a lot more. And it's not about, like, pure power fantasy for them, but more like the, like, so it's like DC does a really good job of, now I might get this reversed, but I think this is right, gods being like humans, while Marvel's more like humans becoming gods. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Spider-Man is this neighborhood kid who who has all this responsibilities thrust upon him, which we can relate more because we're a lot more like, we're human. But a lot of the DC characters are more like gods that are put into these human events. So, like, it is more interesting if you try not to think about the base storyline of the stuff, like strong guy versus strong villain, but more along the lines of, like, their place in the universe and how that sort of coincides with the struggle they had to face with. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Because we're really into... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I will also say that DC comics are way better than DC movies.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. It's like, the hardest part... I mean,
they have to scrap so much, that's why.
Oh my god.
Like, the hardest part for making a good Superman movie is that, like... Okay, so a lot of people, especially teenagers and, like, I think our generation, we like to go see movies for action. And for, like, we expect a superhero movie to be more action. Blame that on Marvel or whatever, but, like, the problem with Superman is because he's so strong, they have to tap into the fish out of water element, which, like, do you remember the first Hulk movie that was directed by Ang Lee? Like, it wasn't about Hulk smashing. It was about, like, his, dual personality inside of him. And it's, like, when we go to movies, we expect to be entertained, not to be preached upon. So I think that's, like, really hard to make these, like, super powered characters into, like, not just punch. I guess you could just make a punching movie, but, like, it's hard to create a struggle for them that's not just internal drama if they're, like, so super powered. Like, they have nothing else to, like, really go against, in my opinion.
So you mean like there's no character growth left?
Like, there is character growth, but it's going to be inside of a non-fighting sense. Unless it's like, oh, I need to protect them because I, like, love them or some shit like that. Like, it's really hard to make an OP character have a good movie. Because you can't just fill up 2 hours full of just punching.
So you want more depth. Like, you don't want a one-dimensional character who's just known for punching. You want them to have more thoughts, feelings, and, like, growth of that.
Like, that's what they sort of did with Wonder Woman, the first movie. But I think the problem they have with, like, Superman is because he's this paragon of justice that's sort of hard to make him seem fallible. And that's really hard to create character growth with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, in a way it does. Like, I personally don't know of any Superman movies that I really like.
Yeah.
The old ones are funny just because they're campy, but I don't know if any of them are exactly really good movies, unless you guys can think of one.
I mean, I think, honestly, Hancock is probably Now I know, but Hancock is probably, in my opinion, the best idea of Superman done in a movie.
I think that first beginning half was great, and then they started going back into the whole, like, hey, he's gotta, I don't know, save his loved ones and family. But whereas kind of like that first half was really just him, a bum who with superpowers, who's learning how to be a part of society. That was definitely interesting.
Yeah, like that part, that was interesting because, like, like, it makes us think, what would we do in that situation? Because he is flawed. Like, the reason why we like a lot of the Marvel characters is because I think a lot of them have flaws. But it's hard to create a good movie with a character that's not supposed to have flaws. Like, Captain Marvel was not really well received because, like, oh god, what's that called for superheroes? Like, just OP and they're just super goody two shoes. Like, I forgot.
Lawful good
way to put it, I feel.
Like, it's really hard. Yeah, like, let's use D&D terms. It's really hard to make a really interesting movie with a lawful good character. Like, you have to make them flawed somehow for us to see them overcome that flaw, and then we can root for them that way. But with Superman, he's not supposed to have flaws, so it's sort of hard to make him interesting from, like, a very general standpoint.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Since we're getting a little bit into the episode now, I kind of want to move to the next person down the line. But right before then, I just want to say really quick, I think in a way we can make Superman interesting is to, like, shift the focus away from Superman. I think that's the only real way. Kind of like One Piece, where Saitama's, like, the most overpowered being
One Punch Man.
in the universe. One Punch? Yeah. One Punch. The entire show, the entire comic is more focused on the people around him than on Saitama himself. Like,
yeah,
that, I think that's the only real way to do it, and that's the way to make it interesting. But moving on now, Alex, what show or movie stuck with you?
See, I actually thought about it while John was talking about his movie choices, but the problem with me is that I don't think I really cared about the impact movies had on me until I was, like, older. Because, like, when I was a kid, I watched a lot of movies, not because, like, oh, this is an impact to me because, like, of, certain things that made me feel certain ways or whatever, but more along the lines of, like, oh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he punched him. Like, oh, that's cool action. Like, I think when I got older, I started understanding the nuance. Okay, I just started recording again.
Okay, awesome. Welcome back.
Bop. All right,
it's
we're
fine.
great.
If we're lucky, it might have saved it, and we might still be able to retrieve it.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. No, I can assure you it did not.
All right. Well, okay.
First episode, it's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I guess this is a perfect time to move on to Michael. Michael, what movie or show kind of stuck with you?
My section didn't matter.
It was to everybody joining us. It's been immaculate. It's perfect. Yeah, I'm so sorry you guys had to miss that, but well, we'll leave it at that.
What's the point?
Michael.
I mean, in terms of I did watch a lot of movies and TV growing up, but there's just so much that has impacted me. I think if I had to choose a movie that would stay with me from my younger years till now, it would probably be The Five People You Meet in Heaven.
Isn't that a book?
It is a book, but I watched it first, rather than reading it first. So once I found out that it was a book, I read it after I saw the movie. But the movie itself is so enlightening and like thought-provoking, and also just like a different concept of what heaven is. I grew up Catholic, so there's just so much about what heaven is, what's up in heaven, all that kind of stuff, but it's just never really clicked or like even resonated with me. But The Five People Me in Heaven, it changed the idea of what is the purpose of heaven, and also what is like there, what is like, it made it a little bit more concrete, and it kind of made me feel that I'm not sure how many of you seen the movie or read the book, but it is the main character, Eddie, goes through his life. Essentially, he was a war veteran who ended up working at one of those pier carnival parks, theme park type things. Mm-hmm. And at the end of his life, he got into an accident, but he did it while trying to save a child. And he goes through he enters heaven, in the sense, we don't know it's heaven yet. We just know it's, at the very first scene, we don't know it's heaven, but when people start talking to him, telling him where he is, he denies it and is having a hard time accepting everything. But as he goes through the number of people who are there, he realizes and gets closure on a lot of things in his life. And I think that's something that a lot of people have unresolved business, and I feel like this movie really makes it feel so sweet, that the idea of just like, you're going to be able to resolve some of your like unresolved business, just like your feelings are unresolved in this space. And that, I think, is so sweet and amazing, that it really resonated with me on my entire life. Have any of you read or seen the movie?
I think I've never watched the movie, but I think I've read it a long time ago.
I'm pretty sure you have the book, actually. I think I saw it at the house a couple times.
Yeah. Maybe. But, like, it's been so long that it's kind of lost on me now. There is
I think...
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just gonna say, like, the book that I remember more of, which is kind of in the similar vein. No, it's actually not in a similar vein at all. You know what? Never mind. What were you gonna say, John?
I'm reading through the synopsis, and I'm pretty sure I've either seen or read something that was inspired by this, but I don't think I've actually ever read the original.
Is this similar to 7 Pounds?
Kind of. That's kind of like, I feel like that's kind of where I'm getting. It feels like it was inspired by this.
I still need to watch that movie. I heard good stuff about it.
Oh yeah. So I think I remember 7 Pounds. It is something kind of similar to that, but instead of one person influencing 7 people, it's 5 people helping you work through your issues.
I honestly I like this version better.
Is 7 Pounds the one with Will Smith?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I like this version.
Slaps Chris Rock at the end.
Keep 7 pounds out of your mouth.
Real fast, just because for some reason when Michael was describing this, it sparked a memory. Has anybody seen Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell?
I tried to watch it.
That was... So, I've always liked, like, British humor, so Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Death at
honestly,
Funeral.
yeah, there we go. Like, anything with, like, very dry, very not slapstick humor has always appealed to me. I remember that movie, because I work a lot with movie and videos and trying to, like, edit or film something. That sense of humor has always been how I've tried to, like, create my own content, tried to appeal more to... Although I may not be able to execute it, I'm trying to apply more dry humor than I am trying to apply slapstick. It's just a very random memory that just pops back into my head.
So you're not a fan of Monty Python? Is Monty Python dry?
I think it's a mixture.
I think it's a mixture. It's got slapstick, but it knows how to use it well. It's not like Americans where it goes with it and says, slap, this is funny. It's more like...
not Three Stooges.
Yeah, it's not Three Stooges. Like, in Monty Python, someone walks to you, slaps you, but there is a distinct reason behind the slap, and then that slap cascades into a different accident down the road.
I think a perfect example of that in a Monty Python movie is in the what the Quest for the Holy Grail. Was that the title of the movie? When they're pulling the pin on the holy hand grenade, and right before they throw it, they're like arguing about how to count to 3.
Yeah.
That's dry humor, and then like when the bunny attacks, that's slapstick humor.
Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah, like Monty Python, every joke has a purpose, which is why it's good. A lot of slapstick humor, it might just be a throwaway. Like, I know people love Family Guy. I cannot stand Family Guy.
Old Family Guy was good.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I've never seen the old one.
The old ones are definitely better than new ones. I agree. But like, I would also agree with what you say. Family Guy is kind of like one of those. Well, nowadays. Although I'm not quite sure how much more it applied in the past. It's kind of one of those like turn off your brain and kind of laugh at the situation kind of funny. Like when they do like a 10-minute segment of Peter Griffin fighting a chicken, that's really turn off your brain kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it was funny when it first came out because there was no show that did something like that. But now that we're sort of like mainstream and we already saw it, it's just sort of like, well, this is stupid again.
What was it? There was this one bit in Family Guy where I think they meet Sean Connery. No, not Sean Connery. Who's the guy that played Batman with the not the nipples?
Ocean 11 guy?
Yeah. What's his name?
Wait, he was one. That's not Sean Connery. I know what you mean. Fuck.
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
his name? George Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney. So they meet George Clooney, and George Clooney introduces himself as, "Hi, I'm George Clooney, the second worst Batman." And the Peter Griffin introduced himself saying, "Hi, I'm Peter Griffin, the second best Homer Simpson." But yeah, like I think they take a lot of inspiration from The Simpsons, but even The Simpsons kind of went downhill.
It's just such a sad thing because like when Simpsons like first came out, there was so I know that there's a formula now, but even with the formula, like they could have still done stuff with it, but old Family Guy was clever. Like they didn't have time for a laugh track, which was really popular around that time. Like what was like late mid 80s when The Simpsons came out. It's like. Yeah. Back then, it was a bunch of, like, family values, like Leave It to Beaver, Full House, like, really family-friendly sitcoms. But now, but then, like, Simpsons came in, and if you actually watch old Simpsons stuff, they have, like, 5 jokes in the span of, like, 10 seconds. And, like, not, like, set up super funny jokes, but, like, you know, one right after another. So they couldn't do laugh tracks. But now, it's like, The Simpsons... I feel like there's such a formula now where they just use archetypes for each character, and there's no nuance anymore. Like, let's take Homer for example. Like Homer was legitimately like, yeah, sure, he's an oaf and all that kind of stuff, but like a long time ago, he had anger issues. He had like he knew he was not the smartest guy, but he still cared about his family a lot. Bart was not just like an evil deviant, but he also like cared about his sister. He does care about how people perceive him. Like I remember that one episode where like I'm not sure if you guys remember this episode, but like Bart was gonna get held back by Mrs. or Miss Krabappel, and then Miss Krabappel, and then like she told him like you were gonna be held back a grade if you failed this last test, and then like he was studying during a snow day, everyone else having fun, and like he's hating himself because like he just can't get it, and like. At the end, like, he still failed the test, but then, like, as he was crying to Miss Krabappel, like, he recited, like, actual facts about, like, the things he studied. He just can't do tests very well. Which I think is just another kind of notion about, like, the American, or the education system in general. But, like, the fact that, you know, he had to deal with that stuff. But now, like, everyone just has one character type that everyone associates them with, and that's why I think nowadays, Simpsons, Family Guy, they're all sort of bland now because these characters aren't three-dimensional. They are now just 2D, literally 2D characters, and it's not fun to just watch that week after week with just more gags thrown in.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if that's like the product of the times and how they want to capture a larger demographic, or maybe the writing staff kind of changed and it's just maybe
the writing staff 100% changed.
Yeah,
writing staff 100%.
I remember there was a fact that Conan O'Brien also wrote a couple of Simpson episodes back in the day, and he's legitimately like a smart and funny guy. I not saying that the people in charge now are not, but I don't know. I can't really say. I can't really say like the talent nowadays if it's because they're being held back, maybe by corporate or something. I don't know. I can't really say.
I mean. I think he wrote one of the more popular Simpsons episodes. I think it was like Marge versus the Monorail, where like this monorail salesman comes in and tries to like and tells Springfield like, if your town's gonna be one that stops for a monorail and it's gonna be good for your town, and then like all this other kind of stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It was a good episode though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there's such a trend nowadays in like shows and games and stuff like that. It just seems like there's nothing really novel or thought-provoking. Maybe I'm being too much of a pessimist, but like I know more about video games than I do about shows. So like this is coming from the video game perspective. I see a lot of things either being like continued on but in a worse state, or no new novel things coming out.
I mean, I agree. I think mainly, now, this is me, pure conjecture, but I think that, like, the result, that's just the result of streaming now. Like, they have to, they just need to pump out as much stuff as possible to keep people just watching. So, like, it's harder to be like, alright, let's sit down for a week, let's all brainstorm ideas, and then work 8-hour days. Like, you just be like, alright, what's the next one? What's the next one? Like, these thought-provoking shows are still out there, but they're more, like, they're far and few between now compared to I think they were, like, maybe 20 years ago.
I feel like streaming could be a perfect platform to do that too, to like, put thought-provoking things on there, but yeah, I think I agree with what you say too.
They exist. There's like Duncan Trussell has this show on Netflix called The Midnight Gospel. And, like, it's not a particularly great show, but I like what they do with it. If you guys ever want to, like, give it a whirl, the entire premise is that all the episodes it's essentially an animated podcast. So the main podcaster, Duncan, like, podcasts with different people, and then they, like, sort of create this world and animate around it. And it's sort of like this psychedelic, trippy kind of show. And I don't know, like, it's really good, especially, like, the episode where he talks to his, like, mom who has stage 4 cancer. Like, they do a really good job with that one. But, yeah, like, they do exist. It's just that, I mean, mainstream is not going to get pushed as often. It's easier to push to the main general populace, like, something like Big Bang Theory, which is still entertaining, but, like, it's just turn off your brain kind of humor.
Yeah, that's why I think shows that I think did really well, like Rick and Morty. Like, there is a mix of the darker humor that or like just a more, it's going to sound bad me saying this, but a more intelligent type of humor where you have to kind of read between the lines. And then there is like silly, really like short, in your face kind of humor in Rick and Morty. So it's a good mixture of the two, which I think is why it's so good. And why Simpsons, like you were saying, from earlier days was like that too. Just the fact that they did touch on topics that were kind of taboo. And they didn't care.
Why are Rick and Morty fans so weird though? Like,
okay.
It's a weird show. Let's be real.
like, I think what you say is true, Michael. Like, there are a lot of things you can read in between the lines, but I feel like a lot of people don't read those things.
Honestly, here's the thing. Okay, is Rick and Morty smart? Now, that's also very up to debate. I think that it's smarter than the average television show, but it's not as smart as the general Rick and Morty fans make it out to be. Like, yeah, there's political commentary, there's like nihilistic viewpoints and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like because a lot of them are weird because I feel like they have this superiority feeling that, like, oh, I get it and you don't, and to all the people that, you know, have criticism of Rick and Morty. And then that's because they have this idea that they're smarter than the average viewer, they do sort of end up being a little bit weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then you also have those Rick and Morty fans who shove things up their butthole on top of a McDonald's counter because they can't get Szechuan sauce.
Wait.
Pickle rack!
Yeah, that was a thing.
I think that it's just there's going to be weird people no matter what show. I mean, if we look at Simpsons, there's probably very weird Simpsons fans and stuff like that. It's just Rick and Morty's more recent, so those memories are there more for us.
These people always existed.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just that the internet brought them out.
Maybe it's because they get more exposure nowadays. I don't know.
I mean, it's exactly the same reason why we hear of all the crazy stuff Florida does, because they have laws that allow it to be public record.
Florida.
That's true.
I remember reading about that.
Like,
Florida.
I'm pretty sure if we had public record in California, or in more of the, I would say, like, bigger states, California, Texas, there's going to be tons of crazy stories.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just purely a numbers game at this point. With how many people live in a certain state, there's bound to be some crazy shit that comes up.
Yeah. I wonder if we have a California man. Maybe we can set him up against Florida man.
We'd lose.
Yeah.
He's probably we won't win.
No competition.
Like, if it was a fighting game, like, we'd lose hardcore.
Yeah, like we can acknowledge that maybe we just hear about all the exaggerated stuff from Florida, but Florida is still crazy.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I also find it funny that Florida is pretty much two separate states according to the demographics. The further south you go in Florida, the more sane it appears. And the further north you go in Florida, the worse it gets.
I just think the entire state's just weird.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
What?
I was just gonna say, if I do ever visit Florida, I think I'm only going to visit a couple of places. Miami, Orlando, and the Key Islands. That's it.
To the tourist areas.
Yeah, like, they seem more safe and accepting. I don't know. It's weird.
They feel less sticky.
Well, I mean, it's Florida. You're going to be stuck.
Yeah, you're gonna get sticky no matter what. I don't know. Okay, for me, I think I would go anywhere. I would say though, it's like imagine what they have to sort of live with. I'll be honest. Like, if I had to live in a place where there was like humidity all the time, just prehistoric dinosaurs just walking around the swamps and swimming around the swamps and all that kind of crap, like, I think I'd go a little bit weird too. Like, not gonna lie.
Yeah, do you know they have like wild alligators, or what are the difference between alligators and crocodiles? But they have wild ones living in Disney World, like right up on the beach side on their property.
Would not surprise me.
And there are these big signs that say, "Please keep away."
Yep.
I know that a little girl got eaten by one of them in Disney World.
Yeah, that happened.
That was big news a couple of years ago.
Yeah, was it 2016 too? That was kind of.
See.
That was a bad year. It was the same year that Harambe died.
That was 2016, I think. Attack.
Harambe.
Child. Disney World. 2016. Yeah.
Yeah. That entire year was a bit weird.
Wasn't that the same year that what's his face? Leviel saw Snape. Alan Rickman. Isn't that the same?
It's not even his line.
I absolutely love your mind palace. Literally went to Hermione Granger into Snape. Like, how?
Wait, does he not say that? No,
it's not him.
It's Hermione Granger.
Holy
who
shit!
says that.
Yeah, I
and
think
you
it's
just
Hermione
went.
saying that to.
Does Snape say Wingard?
No, he does not.
Oh my
I
god!
will tell
saying
you
it
that
to
right
Ron.
now.
The complete dichotomy. There's like, wait, what?
You're thinking about that Flash animation.
Yeah, I am thinking about the Flash animation.
Oh my god! I was like, wait, where's the connection there? They're in the same movie. That's about it.
Okay, there was an old Flash animation where all the characters go Leviel saw, and I'm like, okay.
All right, fair.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I think that was the same year that Alan Rickman passed away too, and Leonard Nimoy.
That was a bad year.
Yeah, 2016 was very weird. It was also, this is kind of sad, the sad news that's being brought up, but remember that YouTube girl who was known for singing, and she did a public meet
Christine Grimm?
Yeah, she also died in 2016.
Oh,
Damn it.
The reason why that was that was actually overshadowed in 2 days.
Yeah, because there was some other killing.
No, I think that was either the Pulse nightclub or the Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, it was the Pulse nightclub, I think.
Yeah.
Like two really bad things happening in Florida, like 2 days apart.
And we're back to Florida.
Damn you, Florida! I do want to try their
2016 was
key
not a
lime
good year.
pies. Their key lime pies kind of make up for it, I guess.
I mean, you can make
It
your
absolves
own,
them of all crime.
you can make your own key lime pie. Why do you need Florida's key lime pie?
You need their key limes, man.
You think the key lime that they import over here are fresh?
As soon as it crosses the border, it withers. Yeah. Anyway, that was kind of a weird Florida topic to end on. But anybody has any? We're coming up on an hour. But anyone has any last comment they want to make before we sign off the first and ever episode of Jammed?
Yeah, actually, I got one real fast.
Go for it.
Okay. And this, I'm sorry if this extends it a little bit, but are you tired of seeing visually beautiful, gorgeous films where the plot line does not seem very well written?
Why does this sound like an ad?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I expected him to go like, "Are you wanting
can save
fresh
money with
meals?
honey, right?
You can get 17 free meals with HelloFresh using
Oh
code."
my god! Hey, that's just the streamer kicking in, okay? But the reason I bring that up is because recently the guys who did the animation for, the guy who did, I believe, the directing for Attack on Titan released a movie called Bubble on Netflix. Visually beautiful, I love it. It's basically a parkour post dystopian anime movie, and it's gorgeous. It's well animated. Everything looks beautiful. The music's great because it's done by a really famous composer. The plot. Me and my wife watched that, and we're just like, I have no idea what the conclusion was supposed to be. It's like the most weird side plot I've ever heard. And I'm sitting there going like, it's beautiful. I want to like it, but I'm going to have to give it like a 2 out of 10 because I didn't understand shit about the story.
I want to... When you're saying visually beautiful with subpar plot, are you talking about animated movies or like live action?
Both. Like there are some live action movies which can be completely beautiful, like graphics are on point, composition's amazing, and the plot's just like middling.
I will say I feel that I'm giving animation movies more of a pass. Because like some of the because like if you view animation as an art form, which also live action movies are, but if you view like, because there's so much manga that we've read that like are really gorgeous, but the plot is
Yeah.
Same thing with like video games that are visually really good, but with like a mediocre gameplay.
Right.
I think with live action movies, if it's like visually gorgeous and it's subpar plot, I would just look at it and be like, you had all this money. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Wait, what was your original premise, John?
It's basically like, it feels like lately we've been getting a lot of, I guess not just movies, like a lot of entertainment / content where you can tell a lot of the work was put into visuals and little to no work was put into the plot line.
Oh, I have a perfect example of that. Have you guys watched Moon?
Wait,
No.
is that the sci-fi movie?
Moonfall or something?
The one where like it's about like the moon falling and this like turns out to be some weird secret plot or something.
Yeah, the moon is like some kind of superstructure left by aliens, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to go into
I
it too
I saw the
much.
trailer.
It is so horrible. It is like the plot makes zero sense, but they threw so much money at it. Visually, it looks amazing. But it's like one of those movies that are so bad it's entertaining. And I would suggest if you're in for a movie that if you enjoy really bad movies, this is like a godsend. You should watch
We're
it.
talking like
Is that a Chinese movie?
Huh?
Is that a Chinese movie?
No, it's not the Chinese movie. It literally just came out, I think, this year. Let me look it up. I think it's called Moon.
all I remember is it had a bunch of big name talents on it.
Yeah. Let me look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's called Moonfall.
Yeah, it's called Moonfall. It has Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, blah blah blah, Donald Sutherland, and it's directed by who's the director? Roland Emmerich.
Okay, aren't all of these names like B-list?
Halle Berry's definitely not B-list.
Are you sure? What has she been in recently?
I would also argue that she's not B-list. B-list is kind of like unknown names. Like you can be like a very known name actor, still be A-list, and still have really bad
Nicolas
acting
Cage.
careers. Yeah.
No, his recent movie was pretty hilarious.
I gotta
it's
watch
amazing.
it. I heard it's really good.
But yeah,
Because it's basically him, right? It's just him.
Yeah.
you guys really need to check out Moonfall and let me know.
I'll take a look at it. If nothing else, I'll take a look at it for the graphic effects.
Yeah, take a look at it. Charlie on YouTube kind of said it's like Gurren Lagann if they threw $100 billion at it and made it live action. But like the
So you know
plot,
what they did with the Death Note live action?
I've never watched it, but
Good.
but like the plot line, the character development, their lines, everything, all of the actions of every individual person in that movie will leave you flabbergasted. It is the perfect terrible movie ever. And if you like bad movies, you will absolutely enjoy this one.
I'll take a look.
So going about the topic about B-listers really quick. Apparently, there's a consensus that certain A-list actors become B-lister actors, like Val Kilmer, John Travolta.
Oh. Isn't that because Val Kilmer can't talk?
No, Val Kilmer just older, I think.
Wait, he can't talk? What?
Val Kilmer can talk. Are you talking
I thought
about
there was, like some?
like you can't
Was there something
understand
like in
him?
Top Gun? Like there's something in Top Gun where like apparently his entire lines had to be dubbed or something.
Oh,
Well, because they couldn't understand him?
I'm not
wait,
sure.
who's Val Kilmer?
Just unintelligible speech.
That's like what's his name? Rocky. What's
John
his-
Travolta.
No, not John
Oh,
Travolta.
No, the guy from Rocky. It starts. Last name starts with
Sylvester
an
Stallone.
S.
I wanted to say
Sylvester
Jason
Stallone.
Statham for some reason, but that's very
Jason
wrong.
Statham. I just know him as the bald guy in action movies. But yeah, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halle Berry's on that list though because
Oh,
there you
Catwoman massacred her career.
Oh wow, that was a while ago.
Bad for her because I'm pretty sure she can act well. It's just she keeps getting bad movies.
Yeah.
I mean, she was really big back in the '90s, and then Catwoman came out, and no one wanted her anymore. I think.
God,
I
remember
mean,
Halle
I guess
Berry
we
in
can all
Swordfish?
agree
Yep.
that anything involving cats will ruin your career.
Especially movies that are just titled cats.
Yep, exactly.
I think Taylor Swift dropped off the radar after Cats, so yeah, that tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like she came back on the radar about that recording studio fiasco.
I did not hear about this.
Oh, I think that okay, so I might be getting this wrong, but I thought that like Taylor Swift's she doesn't actually have rights to her songs because like this in the contract the studio actually owns it. So she re-recorded all of her songs and is now underneath her label. So now there's two different versions of songs for Taylor Swift, the old ones that are like the new version, the new updated under her label kind of version, and then the old like studio version.
Is there a legal fight on this?
I think that the legal fight they were just like, fine, if you're just gonna keep my songs, I'll just make my own songs. Like I'll sing the same song but underneath my label.
I hate the entertainment industry sometimes.
Yeah, it can be pretty predatory.
I mean, it's not pretty predatory. It is predatory.
It just straight up is.
It's a predator.
If it bleeds, it can die.
Regardless, we should probably wrap this up.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting on. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for our very first episode. Hopefully we'll get any technical stuff going and gone by the next one. Maybe you can hear what Alex had to say. It was pretty nice. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll probably set this on a 2-week rotation schedule. Maybe not. Maybe we will. We'll let you guys know. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye forever.
Real fast before we cut.
Are you tired of unhealthy meals? You only got 17 frames.
Get it with your VPN. NordVPN, the only VPN you need.
Da 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 da.
But seriously, what's up?
Should we sign it off? Like, get jammed. No, I'm
Get
joking.
jammed in your ear.
God, jam you in the mouth.
Oh, God.
We're a family corporation.
It's like,
Jam it in both of your ends.
it's like the Family Guy episode of them trying to jam it into Meg's ear.
Oh, God. Okay, are we leaving this in?
Once you go black, you go deaf.
We could.
I haven't got it.
All right.
Well-
Okay, we're
After credits.
okay. Yeah, we're ending this right now. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.